for the record, our Scoutmaster left to go get pizza. Anyway,
no one likes him for some reason.
So he was gone a couple hours. We were all really freaking out, just like teenage boys do. It kept raining. The water kept rising. So anyway, a couple people decided to go out in the water and get our water bottles for us, which is ironic because there's water all around us. Anyway, so yeah, they went out to go get their water bottles and they came in completely soaked, but they had our water bottles, so that was nice. We weren't going to die of dehydration. And then a couple hours later, when it got dark, our Scoutmaster came back. He didn't have any pizza with him, but he did have the rescue vehicles / boats, so I guess that was kind of a little helpful.
Jimmy! The rescue vehicles arrived. Rescue vehicles. They were under the impression that by rescuing us, they would just sit there, outside the campground, sirens blaring, watching us. And if we stuck our heads out the windows to try and get a look at them, or went somewhere near the door, it would mean to them that we didn't need to be rescued.
Oh, that was a crime punishable
Despite
like
how obvious it was that we needed to be rescued. Because that makes sense. Eventually they did rescue us, and they wouldn't let me film it. I would have otherwise, but they were afraid that somehow it might get wet if we went underwater, which it would because I was carrying it anyways. Who knows? I don't understand. Matt?
Yeah, so we didn't get the pizza that our Scoutmaster went out to get until later. He did get us the rescue vehicles. I guess that was a little better than pizza.
By the way, our Scoutmaster says dad. Matt's dad.
Unimportant detail, but yes. It took them at least a solid 2 hours to get us out of there. It shouldn't have taken that long. Most of that was sitting there and not doing anything. But yeah, once we got back to shore, everything was all good, and we were all happy. No. They loaded us onto a prison bus with a dog in the back named Leggy. He liked turkey legs. And took us to a hospital to treat us for shock that we didn't have. Any of us.
They loaded us onto a prison bus, which is kind of unsettling because where we were sitting on the bus, murderers or rapists might have been sitting there before us, and it's kind of weird having that feeling that you're sitting where a murderer might have sat.
I liked the dog, though. He was cool.
He was cool. And then in true American fashion, they took us to the hospital, even though none of us actually needed to go, and then charged us exorbitant fees for checking us out. But they did give us pizza. That was pretty nice.
What about, they gave us cake, too.
Yeah, cake.
Nobody ate the cake.
No, we'll get to that later, too. The cake was a lie.
They gave us a cake because it was someone's birthday. Cake is good.
They took us to a hospital, didn't do anything at the hospital, and we rode a prison bus to a fancy hotel. Which I guess was nice. But 5 to a room, with only 2 beds.
Do the math.
The floor was comfy that way.
What James forgot to mention was that when we got to the hotel, we were driving down their horrendously long driveway. As soon as we pulled up to their door, our leaders decided to tell us one important detail. Oh yeah, and just so you know, the hotel only has power in the lobby. Yay! They had 1 chandelier light on and no power in the entire rest of the building. We got an extra bed though, that was all good. So I slept on a bed, Jimmy slept on the floor, Brad's neighbor slept on the bed that Jimmy was originally going to sleep in, but then Jimmy decided that the floor was more appealing than a bed with Kellen. Brad slept with one of our friends, Michael. That was weird. Yeah.
for the record, nothing happened between me and Michael. We were just sleeping together in the same bed. We weren't sleeping together. We were sleeping together. You know, we spent the night in the hotel, and the next morning, the power came back on. We got breakfast, and then we watched the news. And the news story about us was the best part, because first of all, they called us a local troop, which we weren't. Second of all, they said that we had, quote, refused to leave the campsite after the manager told us to, which was complete bull, because he's the one that told us to go up in the movie room in the first place, so he was just lying through his teeth to the news. Can't trust the media. Jimmy.
Don't even turn off the camera. We don't need to. Okay. So, yeah, Heroes Weekend Flood.
Actually, the official name is Armagettysburg. Just putting that out
No,
there.
that's what you call it. That's not the official name. It's what you call it, Matt.
Brad calls it that too sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes I do.
Well, sometimes Brad calls things by Matt's names, sometimes Matt calls things by Brad's names, and sometimes we just do things my way. Honestly, why did you cut the video there? That was... Oh, it wasn't cut, sorry.
We had to pay for breakfast too, and that wasn't fun.
It wasn't too expensive.
It wasn't too expensive, but what kind of hotel makes you pay for breakfast?
A lot of them, actually.
What kind of good hotel makes you pay for breakfast?
A lot of them, actually.
Anyways, what else did we do at the hotel? We really...
Nothing.
No, we didn't. Michael made us watch MTV. Yeah.
So I need to talk fast because I'm running out of room on my camera. So then after that, the rain kind of cleared, the water went away, we went back to our campsite, we stayed there for a couple more days at Gettysburg, we saw some cool sights, and yeah, that's about it. So thank you for listening to this train wreck of a video, goodbye.